Aqua, you got fucking Norded, huh?
We're all Norded.
I think I want to leave that in.
Sora, I've been Norded.
I'm one of the 13 pieces of darkness, huh?
To Obadiah.
Jesus.
Obadiah's been Norded. I'm done. You have to unlock his heart. No.
You lied to me, Williamson.
What else is new? You shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Did I?
You told me about D-Killer just to get me to take the case, but he isn't even on the same continent. You knew that.
What I said was that we found the card at the scene, and we did.
Don't give me that certain point of view crap. I've defended that slime bag so far. Hello, cat. Nice of you to jump on the back of my chair. What can I do for you?
Special appearance by Garcon's cat.
You gonna try to walk down my arm? Okay.
The cat will now voice Obadiah Williamson.
What can I do for you? Now you're walking down me? Okay. Now I can't see the screen!
Let's get a play-by-play.
She's standing in front of my computer. I can see I deserve answers because some is completely blocked by her back. What can I do for you? Get down. Ow! Oh, that's my headset! Ah! She's flossing her asshole with my headset. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So let's get this, straight. In this Let's Play, Garcon has nearly died from choking on water.
She farted on me!
And now he's being attacked by his cat. So, this is spectacular for him.
I deserve some answers!
Yes, you do. By now, you're in deep enough that I can trust you to make the right decision. It is time you learn the truth about your client.
And now we're back to Obadiah's trial.
Ace prosecutor, baby.
This man, Gavin, what is he doing?
I don't fucking know. He wants to pin the murder on you, Mr. Kushari.
Me? Why me? I have never hurt him.
Fame, money, prestige, doesn't really matter why he does it. The man's as bad as the one he's defending. My guess is you were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I didn't ask for assassins to eat at my restaurant.
No, you didn't. I know you're entirely innocent.
Please, you must not let him win.
I do not trust that new bottle of poison of his. There's no way your fingerprints are on it. Did you touch a bottle, Mr. Kushari? There's no way, right? You touched a bottle. Oh no, he did touch it. This trial is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. The police will have their findings ready soon. We should be ready. Mr. Kushari, please tell me everything you remember about that vial. If there's anything at all that might help, I'm willing to listen.
Yes, my friend. I do not wish to disappoint you.
You touched that bottle, didn't you?
Have I been playing as Obadiah both times we've done this?
Yep.
It's kind of messed up.
I know.
I recognize it. Yes, I did hold on to it. But I did not know what it was, you see. I promise you I did not. I did not hit her. I did not. It is bullshit. I did not hit her. Oh, hi, Phoenix.
I believe you, but it may be difficult to prove you're telling the truth.
I have made a mistake, haven't I?
Don't stress over that now. Just tell me when you held it and why.
I was talking to that man, Mr. Detective Togamera. He handed the bottle to me and asked if I recognized it. He gave it to me and I looked at it for just a moment. It was not for long. So I was not worried at all. He is a police officer, you know.
Mm-hmm. Detective Togamera handed it to you.
Yes, sir. I recognized him at the witness bench. He is the man.
Togi must have been involved with the forgery then. The bottle has Mr. Kushari's prints, his real fingerprints. You'll be hard proving anything of the sort. But you can do it, right? Well, bummer. Gavin's gotta be in the know, right? He must be. There are enough lawyers here that his hide will be covered. Lawyers here that his hide will be covered. If and when we expose it, he could just pass it off as all Togamera's fault. Wow, we really underestimated this guy. That we did. Did Mr. Togamera tell you anything else when he spoke to you?
We talked about what happened, only what I expected from a police investigation. He did not seem strange to me, not yesterday. But I see now he is a liar, Mr. Prosecutor Williamson. He is working for them, I know he is. He is horrible. Why, if I see that man again, I might.
Smack him with my spatula. Whoa, calm yourself, buddy.
I cannot. He makes me so angry.
Oh, I mean it. You have to calm down. Try thinking of some of those great food jokes of yours. Gee, don't let a cheesy guy like Mr. Togamera grate on your nerves. Oh no, Jimmy. Why would you do that? Mr. Kushari, you mustn't get hot-headed in there.
Yes, I know. But when I think of those horrible men, it makes me so very angry. I cannot help it.
The defense will use anything they can. That may include your behavior on the stand. You need to remain calm no matter what.
I understand, Mr. Prosecutor. May I say something, sir?
Of course.
It's very strange. I remember most things Detective Togamera said today. But some things he said I do not remember.
Oh.
Yes. Maybe it is nothing, but I think I must tell you about it.
What was it you needed to tell me?
Mr. Detective Togamera, you see, I listened to him speaking just now. He said many things that I remember well, but I never remembered any blood.
Blood?
Yes, in his testimony he said that the dead man must have vomited, but I do not remember this.
Mr. Kushari, I'm sorry to tell you, but you must be mistaken. I examined the crime scene myself, and Luciano indeed had vomited blood.
Oh, no, I am quite certain, sir. That table was spotless when I called the police.
Again, I'm sorry, but you must have looked before Luciano threw up. Togamera did not lie here. This is not the contradiction we're looking for.
There must be an error.
I'm sorry. Dang it. They've really planned this out well. That guy might literally get away with murder. I'm still PO'd about poor Pearl Faye. Isn't there anything we can do to help her? The kidnapping can wait. Look into it tomorrow. Right now, I'm only concerned with this trial. What if there isn't a tomorrow? What then, huh? Listen to me, Mr. Jameson. Listen now and listen well.
Oh, the music stopped, so you know this is going to be serious.
No jokes. Serious face. There is nothing we can do for Miss Faye. Nothing. Unless the family comes clean and admits their involvement. Neither you nor I nor anyone else can do anything about it. Damn it, the poor thing might be dead for all I know. But finding her is not our responsibility. That is a job for the police. But I am a prosecutor and you are my assistant. My job is to convict a murderer. Pearl Fay did not murder Carlo Luciano. Jesus, Jimmy. What'd you smell?
I was about to say, he just caught a whiff of someone's ass.
Good Lord, man. Mr. James, whatever. Just catch a killer. I thought us prosecutors were supposed to help people. We are. Mendez is a dangerous man. He shouldn't be walking free. You know what I mean. Mr. Kushari may need our help very badly today. Can you stand by that? They won't hurt him. Thank you.
Mr. Prosecutor Williamson, are you that worried for me?
No, not at all. You'll be fine. Let's head inside. Jimmy, calm down.
Stop showing this face.
Jimmy, calm down. Listen to your music. Oh, oh.
Now, where we left off, our witness Salim Kashari had been accused of murder. Mr. Gavin provided a potential motive and evidence to support the accusation. The results from the test he requested have arrived. And what did they tell us? Fingerprints showed up positive for Salim Kashari. It seems the witness handled the bottle at some point.
Blasted, I knew it. Mr. Kushara is in hot water now. Your Honor, we still have the original suspect for this crime. We must...
I'm sorry, Mr. Williamson, but I wasn't finished. You see, a second person's prints were also on the bottle. The police looked over them and found that they belonged to neither the witness nor the defendant. You see, they were smudged and unidentifiable, but one thing was clear. The other person who held this bottle was a child.
Pearl Fay?
Relax, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know that it was Pearl Fay, merely the girl. The prints were smudged and Kushari couldn't perfectly ID her. We did not know for a fact who she was. Could this little kid be the killer after all? I wouldn't put money on it. The poison was a fast agent, remember? What this does mean, though, is that she may have handed the bottle directly to the witness. Yipes!
May have, but you don't know it.
I think I do. I have a witness who will testify to just this. Order! Mr. Gavin, we are in this situation precisely because there were no witnesses. Yes, and? Well, if you've found a witness, we must hear from him. Excellent. He's already here. You may approach the stand.
Just conjured up a witness out of thin air. Hey, it's Mr. Yossarian.
Name, please.
Alan Yossarian. Your Honor, he hasn't been up there 2 seconds and he's already lying.
Please, prosecutor, allow me to handle this. Yossarian is his code name because he uses as a safety measure. He fears for his life, so lying is a necessity. Sir, we already know who you are. Your real name, please.
Francisco. Oh, okay.
That
Francisco.
I did not expect.
Nope, not at all. He does not look like a Francisco or a Mendez.
I was going to say or a Mendez, but I was drinking.
Francisco Mendez. This man is the suspect. We all know he's going to lie.
Granted, he'll accuse Kushari, but your witness was doing the same to him. We have no more witnesses, Williamson. That's the point. Who else would you have me call? A missing child? Rebales himself? We've already heard from Mr. Kushari. It would only be fair to give the defense a chance. We can't be sure otherwise.
Obi, that sleazebag's just gonna sleaze up the place.
Alright, Jimmy.
That's what sleazebags do. I'll allow him to testify. What? Why? We know he'll be lying. Anything he says will be a direct contradiction of the truth. It is a chance to dig ourselves out of this hole we are in. The prosecution accepts Mr. Mendorez's testimony.
I knew you'd see reason. Okay.
That was a twist.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the few things that I haven't seen coming.
Yeah.
Mr. Mendorez, I'm sure the court would like to hear your story. No.
Got it.
Okay.
It's being way more cooperative. Cooperative. The kid wasn't Faye, but wouldn't tell you if she was. It was just some brat we found on the side of the road. Wanted to help her. Took her into the diner to calm her down. Kushari must have thought he recognized her. Before Parker took her, Kushari came to speak to her. She gave him something. We ordered the meals. They came. 10 minutes later, Luciano's dead.
Who voiced Mendorez on the phone? I think it was me.
I think it was
oh well.
you.
Oh well, at this point.
It was a phone voice. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Yossarian made the food and back. He could see us. We couldn't see him. Luciano's dead. Parker's clueless. Kid's gone. Just Yossarian and me. Who you gonna believe?
She gave him something? That little girl?
Didn't think anything of it at the time. Could have sworn she whispered something to him, too.
Your Honor, may I propose a theory? I believe this young child asked Salim Kushari to kill the victim for her. A child did that?
Why would she do that? And why would Mr. Kushari do it unless he knew who the victim was? The brat was panicking. I didn't know if she lost her parents or what. Anyway, she wasn't acting right. That's why Parker had to take her out.
She was scared and wanted help. She wasn't sure who these 3 grown men were. My client just wanted to help, but she clearly didn't trust him.
Oh yeah, and the poison? Where would some middle schooler get that?
That's a good question. However, we have the child's fingerprints on the bottle as well as the witnesses. How she got it is not so important as to ask is what she intended to use it for. Mr. Mendorez, does your attorney's theory match up with what you saw?
You got the evidence. You got the evidence. Yeah, Jesus. You got the evidence. You tell me.
They both handled the bottle of poison. It makes perfect sense. A child involved with a murder. I hate to hear of it. Do you have anything else to ask your client, Mr. Gavin? None. The defense has no further arguments at this time. Well, if we have no need for a cross-examination.
Of course, Mr. Gavin won't ask any further questions. The suspect is helping his case. Should we honestly expect anything different out of this situation? The defendant is trying to shift the blame from himself to somebody else.
And the fingerprints? You were the one going on about ignoring evidence.
I am sure there's a reasonable and I will find it. I don't believe a word you or your mobster client have said, Mr. Gavin. If you do not wish to press his lies, then I will.
Be my guest.
Your Honor, it would not be right for the defense to interrogate their own witness. I will accept responsibility for cross-examining him.
Certainly, Mr. Williamson. You may begin.
All right.
What, really? This is a long testimony, too.
Yeah. My witness has identified the girl as Miss Pearl Fay.
I clicked on it, but...
I'm sure he did. That'd give an easier explanation for him. He's a liar. I didn't kidnap anyone, and that's a fact. If that is so, then who was she? Who cares? I had an airtight alibi the night she went missing. 8 of my men will tell you I was at my uncle's tower playing cards. Just a mob lying to cover for their own.
He's
Mr.
slashing.
Yes.
His uncle is a paranoid man who keeps a close watch on his building. This is footage taken from the cameras at the Rivales Tower. They cover close to everywhere in the tower. Francisco Mendez was where he says he was.
Mendez wasn't the kidnapper, but he somehow ended up at a diner with her. Did that man hand her over to them?
Can we not play the pronoun game?
Phoenix, am I really to believe this? A mafia capo and his top assassin just picked up some random child because she was scared. That sounds right. I've always had a soft spot for the underdog.
What?
Woo, you're not showing it now. Well, in the future. Well, where is she now? Mr. Parker must have done something with her. How would I know? Just some kid. I told him to get rid of her, so he took her out and drove her somewhere. I guess back to her parents, but really I don't care. I didn't follow up with them. So much for caring about the underdog. What was she upset about? She was incoherent, so it was hard to tell. Brad made a real scene in the place. Didn't Kushari mention that?
Okay.
No, not at all. Well, sounds like he's got a selective memory, if you ask me. There's no way he couldn't have noticed her. She was having a royal fit.
Mr. Mendez, now that you mention it, couldn't that be what drew his attention to her? He may not have paid any notice to her otherwise.
Could be. That might be how he jumped to the conclusion it was the Faye kid. Nothing we were doing was calming her down, but I did manage to get her out of my hair.
What little hair I have.
Yes. How soon was this before she left? I'd say a few minutes at the most. She was being real loud, remember? He wanted to see what was up. He did seem concerned, I'll give him that, and he managed to calm her down a tick. That was when she slipped something into his hand.
Could you describe this something?
She was trying real hard to hide it. It was small enough to fit in one hand. I did see that it was a brownish color. When she handed it over to Kushari, she whispered something to him, and his eyes got all dark.
Would anybody else in the court care to surmise what my client just described? Brown, small, and something she'd want to hide. Obviously, we're talking about the bottle of poison. Mr. Mendez, would you happen to recognize this?
Looks like you nailed it on the head. Shady as heck of them to be carrying poison around like that.
I think we ought to amend that last statement, eh? Witness, please add it to your testimony. Well, let's just press on for now.
Are you certain it was the poison? The description I gave seemed to satisfy my lawyer and the judge. And if it was, then it has to be what killed him. If you've got any better ideas, how about you just say them? As a matter of fact, I do. There are a total of 2 poison vials that have been found. The girl, assuming she really did, was not the only person who had one. You did as well. At the very least, yours is equally suspicious. Yeah, well, you got me there. Say, remind me where mine was found again. I tend to forget all of these silly little details, and it just slipped my mind.
Why, it was underneath your chair, in plain sight. Nobody had made any effort to hide it whatsoever.
Well, if I used it to kill him, then I'm a real piss-poor killer, don't you think? Any Rivales officer worth his salt would know to clean up after the fact.
It does seem strange, I'll admit. Where was the new bottle found again? It was near the back of one of the kitchen cabinets, almost as if it had been hidden.
Eh,
You filthy liar! There was no poison there! Mr. Wrong voice. Mr. Kushari, please wait until you are called before speaking. I will not! I cannot, Mr. Your Honor, not while they say such things! The poison is not mine! The murdered man had it!
Luciano.
I saw the four looking at the two bottles. He gave it to the girl and she asked, "What is it?" But then she gave it back to him. She never handed a thing to me. I think that's enough. You are speaking far out of turn. No, I will not let you speak these lies about me or the child. Both of your prints are on the bottle, so you both held it. No, but no one else's were found. Please think again before making such an obvious mistake. Witness, you cannot interrupt a testimony like that. If you speak out again, I will hold you in contempt of court. Which is another game that I kind of want to play at some point.
The Canadian judge does Let's Plays. Mr. Kushar, please leave this up to me. I understand you are emotional and defensive, but this only hurts you. Remember what we talked about earlier.
Yes, my friend. I just could not remain quiet.
Thank you. Just let me do my job and nothing will go wrong. Well, we know the story's bogus, right? So there's that. Yes, but according to it, the poison would be the most likely object. To disprove it, we'll have to attack his testimony as a whole. Yeah, good point. Well, there'll be a contradiction in here if he's lying. Try and find it.
We ordered the meals, they came. 10 minutes later, Luciano's dead. Oh, we're still continuing.
Apparently. Luciano would have died mere minutes after ingesting the poison. You were the last one. You were the one last seen with him. That's right, me and the chef. Where was Mr. Kushari during this time? He was in the back, doing his thing. I don't know. He's a cook. Probably, well, cooking.
So you couldn't see him?
Not before he delivered the meals or after, no. He was back behind that little window of his, so you see. Mr. Kushar said as much. He told the court that after delivering the food, he returned to clean up a mess. Did he? Well, I didn't see him in any case. Leastwise, not until he ran in screaming about Luciano being dead.
I hate long animations that lead to nothing. Like the dude in Ace Attorney 5, the Aristotle fuck. Every time he said something, he had to point up at the sky, slowly bring his hand down, and then smile.
I don't know what that team's obsession with long animations is, but it's really grating.
Yeah.
6 has the same problem with the prosecutor. That guy was watching.
I'm going to stand here looking at my finger while a butterfly flies in.
I'm gonna do all these Naruto hand motions. That guy was watching us the whole time, I tell you. Just waiting until it happened. And you. You were right next to Luciano the whole time. You think I could have snuck in the poison myself? Think about it. It would have been much harder for me to do that right in front of his face. Luciana and I had the hit on him and was paranoid. I couldn't have done it. But Kushari, we had no idea what he was up to. And I guess that's the point, isn't it? So cleaning or keeping tabs on his victim, you tell me.
There was no bounty. There was no hit. This was all made after the fact. They only found one poster, remember?
Yep. But try actually using that noggin of yours before you make the choice. You claim he did this while being behind the service window. That would be it. He darn well couldn't have done it out in front of the two of us. He had plenty of time for it, and since he had the bottle thereafter, he probably kept it there. Didn't you say something about keeping a murder weapon at the scene being stupid? Yeah, but I never said anything about Yossarian being particularly smart.
Well, you're a dick. Objection, he is very smart. Me, I'm competent.
You will refrain from insulting my witness's intelligence.
Sustained. Let's not have any of that, eh?
Well, I'll take it back. But you all know what I meant. Okay. Do I really need to answer that? As if I was asking your opinion. Anybody with an unbiased mind can see it's two suspects accusing the other, and either might be lying. Well, it's not Mr. Gushari, so I guess that leaves you.
You can't count off either without looking at the full story. To whom does the evidence point? Who has the better motive? You should be asking these questions rather than leaping to conclusions.
You know, I've decided I don't like this guy.
You and the entire Phoenix Wright fan base.
He is certainly living up to his reputation.
You know, the literal devil.
I cannot win support from Mr. Kushari through empathy alone. I'll have to find a more logical route. Well, I guess good thing we know Menderes is full of you-know-what. He has to be lying, so there's a way to prove it somehow. I do not believe I see anything. Well, you know how it goes. Just keep pressing until he lets out the wrong thing. He'll do it sooner or later, right?